Here's a semi-hot take. Um, Tom Hanks is overrated. Seriously. I I know we can come up with all sorts of little conspiracy theories about him. There have been a lot of them. Who knows how true or false they are? I don't know if we'll ever know. But let's just go by just his acting skills. Here's the question. If you look down through history, all different kinds of actors, uh, whoops. All right. Something different there. Anyway, there's even actors that aren't all that good, like John Wayne, massively overrated. However, he's got enough of a vibe on his own that you can do an impersonation of him. You know, Jack Nicholson, kind of a one-trick pony, really. You can do an impersonation of him, though. Clint Eastwood, much as I like a lot of his movies, he's kind of the same guy in every movie. Doesn't have a lot of emotional depth. You can impersonate him. You can impersonate Jim Carrey. Even people that people don't really take all that seriously. You can do an impersonation because they have that much personality. There's enough character about them that you can imitate them. Have you ever heard of a Tom Hanks impersonation? You won't. You haven't. You won't. And it can't be done because there's nothing to impersonate. Seriously. There's nothing to impersonate. And it just shows you what society has turned into. I'm sure there's a lot of female actors, actresses that way. There's a lot of more actors that way. I'm just not thinking of right offhand. I mean, Robert Pattinson would be another good example, although he did kind of decent as Batman, but there's nothing to impersonate. Going by, probably most of the people was on those awful Twilight movies. There's nothing there to impersonate. I think people need to start thinking about this. It's like, do I think this person is extraordinary, or has it just been pushed onto me and I'm just going with it? I mean, the bottom line is, and here's the thing, Tom Hanks is a decent actor. Just about everything I've seen him in, I would go ahead and say that everything I've seen him in, he does at least decent. He's not been in anything where I'm like, oh, I wish he wasn't in here. But he's replaceable. He's extremely replaceable. He is. It just shows you we've been turned into the TV dinner type stuff, to where we're hyping people up who have nothing to offer. You could say that with music. If people are having a fit about this or that musician or singer or something like that, there's several female ones. Billie Eilish would be one of them. Taylor Swift. A lot of them. In the grand scheme of things, as a singer, they're a joke. I mean, a fart in a hurricane. Have you heard of other singers? I mean, seriously. You have to have the memory of a mayfly or something like that. Is that it? That you just, everything else just gets wiped clean, like one of those Etch-a-Sketches, and then something comes up, it's just the best thing you've ever heard? How's that happening? And I think that's what we're getting turned more into. It's kind of a consumer thing. It's a throwaway thing. Everything, like right now, the next thing is just the best thing you've ever seen. It's weird that people aren't looking back. They're not reaching back like they need to. Now, fortunately, a lot of people are. But it just shows you we buy into this stuff. And it probably has something to do with politics also. I think there's a theme of that in a lot of movies and TV shows. They put little nuances in there, seem to sort of influence how we look at the world and, politicians and people like that. Just something to think about. It occurred to me, and just somebody else has to have thought about this. Why is this happening? I mean, you could probably sit here and list 100 more easily. It's like, how are they famous? But Tom Hanks is like icon. And that's what's infuriating about the whole thing. He's not really bringing anything to the table. He brings some emotional depth. He does okay with it. I've seen better. He's not great with characters. He's kind of the same guy. He doesn't really bring anything to the table. He brings, store brand white bread to the table. It's hilarious that there's something like that somebody like that is an icon. How did that happen? So be aware, sometimes we're being influenced so much that we're being served mediocre like it's gourmet.